everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So today's video is going to be my Christmas card retro. I'm going to share with you all the Christmas cards I made for this season. So let's go ahead and have a look. Okay, the first thing I've noticed, because I was just going through these, there's a lot less lawn fawn than last year, which is by no means a fair representation of my collection of stamps. I just feel like this year I went other ways. I don't know why I did, but I did. I still have like 12 ideas for lawn fawn cards, but anyway, doesn't matter. The way I'm going to break this up is I'm going to do the ones that are I'm going to bring them into collections, because I did do a lot of multiples. I think that's probably the thing that I've noticed the most. I have used ones where I've done multiples of the same kind of card, or I've used one kit or one particular thing to make them. So in that respect, kind of made a little bit more bang for my buck this year. Instead of doing lots of single ones completely on their own, I kind of did a couple more where I reused ideas. So this was the first of them, and I'm pretty sure there's a video that matches these ones. These ones are using the Concord 9th All the Marys stamp set. I think this one will go down as probably my favourite of the season when it comes to sentiments. It's just a no-brainer. It's so good. But then this was really fun too, bringing in the colour cube and getting it to help me pick some festive kind of colour combos. It was lots of fun. And even, like, I say that the purple and the blue are probably not traditional, but I look at them and I go, yeah, they're Christmas cards. It's so easy. I absolutely adored this stamp set. It was so beautiful, and I will link, of course, to that video down below, as I will for any of the ones that you see along the way that have videos. I'll do that too. These three were using the Tailored Expressions Create in Quads. And I know that's a complete oxymoron because there's 3 cards for quads. I messed one of them up. One of them did not like me. But these 3 turned out absolutely beautifully. It's a 3 or 4 piece stencil set. Might be a 3-piece stencil set. And you do the whole thing and you get 4 different card fronts. These do make American size card fronts. So for me, I kind of get annoyed. But I still think they're absolutely beautiful. And then these These 2 were using the Concord 9th Big for Christmas, and this one was using the All the Marys. Really beautiful cards, really simple 1-layer cards. All these ones are almost 1 layer. I just love how easy that is. That's just ink blending or distress oxide blending with a little bit of texture paste, like clear texture paste for the shine on the cherries. Made it really easy, and really, really beautiful, simple cards. Didn't take long, but I think are absolutely beautiful. Alright, these ones are all of the ones from the Uniquely Creative, what was it called? Christmas, the card set. Oh, What Fun, that was what it was called. Oh, What Fun card set. Now, this came with a book, so these are all made straight out of the book. This was just me bulking up my collection, and I'm so glad I did. But I did add a few things here and there, so I'll as I'm showing you these, I'll kind of let you know what I added. So this gorgeous one with just the die cuts and the gems, this all came with it. The only thing I've added here is the gold kind of backing paper on it. And wherever I could, I used like a stitched square or rectangle, because to me they just look more finished that way. I loved this Ho 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 one with the Santa, and I just added the red glitter cardstock. That was the only difference. This one was the hardest card of them all. Definitely the most time consuming, but definitely the one that I think has the most punch. It has so much texture. It has all of those different layers, and they're on completely different layers here. You've got a flat layer, you've got one on slightly skinny foam tape, you've got one on some slightly bigger foam tape, you've got some on some more. It just really builds, and it's got this gorgeous dimension to it. I really love it. Especially the twine that's sort of intertwined in there. I know that's a funny word. Love, love, love that one. Took the longest, probably the closest one in the way that I made. I didn't add anything to this one, but I probably added a little bit more foliage than I think there was. This one was absolutely beautiful. I love the twine. Just added the square. Other than that, it's exactly as described. Same here. I just used my stitched square wherever I could. Now this one is very similar to what's in the book. I just changed I added in the vellum. The piece of paper that I was supposed to use with this one is one of the really pretty pinks. This one. It's this one. And for whatever reason, I didn't have enough to do both. I think it's because I did my stitched rectangles instead of doing just cutting them up. So I didn't have enough. That's on me. So I just improvised and used some vellum, and I thought that was really pretty to go over the back of that really pretty lights anyway. And I just added some glossy accents to the noses of the reindeer and the berries, and then some glossy black to the reindeer's eyes. I loved this wreath one. This one was as described as well. The only thing I did differently was I added a couple of red baubles and some clear ones. The red ones are from Tim Holtz. The clear ones are from, I believe, Trinity Stamps. This one is as described. I didn't do anything different other than the stitch. So easy. Like, so easy. And this is where I loved them. They were so simple to do. And I really did zone out. I reckon it took me 3 days maybe to do all 9 of these cards. I think there's 9. And it was just so easy to not have to think of the idea. And I think that's where I struggle sometimes, is the idea. And then last but not least, I have this big pile of presents. And I just added different levels of foam tape on all of these. So some of these are flat, some have skinny foam tape, and some have double foam tape. So absolutely beautiful collection of cards, to the point that I love this collection so much I've actually bought the paper pack again. I feel like I still have absolutely tons of the die cuts of the gemstones, the twine. I've got so much of that. What I don't have so much of is the paper, because I've obviously used that a lot. So I did buy an extra paper pad during the Black Friday sale, which I'll use to either make more Christmas cards for myself and use this again next year because it was that good. Or I have ideas, I need to check who in my family actually want me to do this, to make Christmas cards to give as gifts during the year, so that when Christmas rolls around they've got stuff. Because I do love making them. Alright, now we're into, oh hold on, I'm going to do one more. No, actually no I'm not. Let's do this instead. I'm going to grab these ones. These are all different in respect for, I use different things for them, but the hero image from all of them is the same. And they are from Hero Arts, and I just loved this set. This was the... oh, what was it called? It was the My Monthly Hero kit, I think from November last year, and I thought I'd missed it because it sold out on Hero Arts so fast, and then it came up on Arts and Crafts. If you're someone that likes Hero Arts kits but you don't like to do the bringing in from the States thing, Arts and Crafts Supply, which is a really cool website, they often get a couple in, and to the point that I don't think very many people know that, so I kind of feel bad now bringing it up because I'm probably going to screw myself out of a couple of things. They always seem to have a few left over, and I got this one. Not only did I get it, but I got it on sale. And it had these 3, was it 3? There might have been 4 because there might have been a snowman, and I didn't use the snowman so much. Kind of images that are so Christmassy. So your elf, your reindeer, your Santa. And they're supposed to be tags, but I just used all of them on cards. So there's this one first. With the 3 of them, I got to use the Lawn Fawn Winty foiled words, which is just beautiful. I've got some Lawn Fawn paper in the back. And then actually that's a Hero Art stamp. You can't really see much of it, but it is there. And I love the 3 of them there. They just look so happy. So there's those ones. This one you did see. This was in my backgrounds box. This is the Tim Holtz Sizzix Gingham Plaid background. There's some foil in there on the back too, which just grabs with the glaze. And then a Concord and Night Sentiment. So easy. Just love how easy that one was. This one's along the same lines. Have yourself. It's a Lawn Fawn Sentiment. And this is a Hero Arts background stamp. I love them. They're so good for just easy backgrounds. So that one's that. This one's just out of some pattern paper. I think that's from Kaiser Craft, if I'm right. And just a little tag just to add in a little bit of something different. We've got a Ho 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 again there with some pattern paper. Sometimes you just need a pattern paper in the background. And then this one with my gorgeous, oh, I love my little Rudolph. And I like that he was a Rudolph because I did all black noses on all my other deer. So I had to have one. And this has then got the Concord and Ninth Iconic Christmas, I think it is. Turnabout stamp just in reds and greens. It's not even a perfect one. I made a couple of boo-boos on there, but it worked really beautifully still. So I wanted to go with it just on a square card, just for something a little bit different. These 2 are ones that I meant to make last year, but this set that I'm using here didn't arrive quickly enough. So this is using the Studio Light, I think it's called Essentials Christmas Tree. It was such, I saw Vicky, I'm just going to call her Vicky P because I can't pronounce her last name. That's really bad, but I'm sorry. I will link the video down below. She did this one, and I I kind of then decided I wanted to recreate it. But this was sort of one I was just playing with, just with gold foil. There's nothing fancy to this. It is gold foil tree inlaid with some green and some splatter. Like, it's that easy. Cute little Christmas card, which is just nice to have. This one, though, is actually one that I really, really love. I didn't have the greenery stamps that she used. So these are lawn fawn. These are from the garland stamp. I think it's the garland. Might be the window dressing. But I loved the vintage look of it. It's just such a pretty design. It's just such a pretty everything. And I'm just so in love with that. Still one of the best. This one is one of the best cards I made for the entire year. The post-it note that you're seeing me move is just the name of the person that's getting it. So I just was moving that out of the way so nobody saw it. Alright, let's do the Uniquely Creative. So these are all stuff that I made for the 2 Christmas kits that I got in the design team. It wasn't that I didn't want to use the other ones. I had enough. So this one was, I had enough from doing these ones was what I meant, sorry. This one was using the Aussie Nativity. Probably my favourite of all of the Aussie Nativities. It's a shaker card, but it's a shaker card that you don't necessarily automatically see as one. It's not until you sort of pick it up and go, oh wow, there's some weight there, and it does something. And there's some extra little glitters in there. So it's got the little balls. What are they called? Not mermaid beads. The shaker balls anyway that Uniquely Creative have. I'm sorry, I can't remember what they're called. It'll come to me as I'm sitting here, I guarantee it. But I also chucked in a couple of like glitter stars as well. So when you do give this a bit of a shake around, you do see the balls, but then you do every once in a while catch the glimpse of a star behind the vellum. I just think it's actually a really cool little look. Same image, coloured the exact same way. I just think that's a really, really classic one. I really like that one. And then I have 2 of the slim lines. This one was using the die cut, not the die cut, the laser cut, and the beautiful stencil, which actually is one of the prettiest mountain stencils that I've seen. Like, most mountain stencils are very hilly or very just sort of, not cartoony because they're not, but this one was very realistic, which I liked. Also liked that you got the background of like your Bethlehem in the background, which was really nice. I liked the colour combo here as well, using blues and golds with a bit of white as opposed to using sort of traditional Christmas colours. So I really love that one. And then another kind of different Christmas colour combo here as well with the greens and the gold. It's a sort of kind of like an Aussie twist on an Aussie Christmas card that's a twist on something else with the green and the gold, but it's not that, you can't really pick it up. It's a bit subtle, which I kind of really love. So that's those 2. And then these were using the beautiful elf kit, which this is my favourite stamp set of the season. And the fact that these are all design team cards are completely superfluous to the point that they were. It was just amazing. I love this set. I will use this for years and years to come. These 2 are obviously recreations of themselves. I did the blue one. No, I didn't. I did the pink one first. I had this background sitting in my collection and I'm like, all right, well, let's do a pink card. And I loved it so much I decided to do sort of like the different coloured Christmas cards. So this is obviously with blues and teals and pink. Just so cute. Just so cute. And I love the candy stripe die from Uniquely Creative. It's one of the best. I love joining it up with the ovals, the stitched and scalloped nesting ovals, which were new. So loved using those. This was then my first play with using the re-inker. This was with Evergreen Bough, which was, if you remember, this is how long ago I made these. If you remember back to the, it was picture to page. It might have even been Pakenham. It might have been that long ago. I started buying the Distress Ink re-inkers. This was me having a play with that for the first time and trying to get that kind of layered look that I have just loved for so very long. But loved using burgundies and a really deep teal just for something different for a Christmas card. This was the only snow one I did. And I avoid snow cards. Oh, actually, hold on. There might be one more in a minute that you see with a bit of snow. I avoid snow like the plague for Christmas. I don't like doing the snow cards. I appreciate why we do them. But to me, Christmas and snow really aren't got anything to do with each other. But I love this background with the tree and the snowflakes. And then I just wanted to add in a little snowman on the side because he was really cute. He would make a very cute summer snowman if you wanted to colour him with sand. He could be a sandman instead of a snowman. This one is also got that vellum overlay, but it's not, there's not a shaker in it. You could make it one, but I deliberately left it there, and it just mists the back of this a little bit. It gives it that really snowy look, which is when then I brought in the glitter on the snowflakes, which I just really love. This one there definitely is a video for, and this is another one that took me a really long time, which is why that video would be really long, but it's just so cool. So this is one of the, I love the colour combo, first of all, using like mustards and olives and stuff. And that was all taken from this piece of paper, and the pink and the red and the teal. But I loved that it did this. I think that's really cool that it's a different kind of interactive card. And there's only, the only interactive cards I've made this year are shakers and a couple of these ones. There's not a lot of pull ones, of push ones, of magic irises or anything. They're all just simple, and that was just out of necessity. This year is a bit too busy for interactive cards. That was the other thing that kind of went by the wayside this year. Last year when I did Christmas cards, I did 5 for like the immediate family, Ryan's grandparents and mum, and my mum, dad, and my sister, that were Charlotte cards. So they had pictures of Charlotte in them somehow. So whether it was not a platform pop-up, a magic iris, or the waterfall card, I can't remember what it's called. Flip it awesome, thank you. One or the other, I had pictures of Charlotte. They just took too long, and I spent too much time doing them. And this year I just didn't have that luxury. So unfortunately this year we have not done the Charlotte cards, but most of these will go out with pictures of Charlotte in them. This is the only card that's come out of the stash. Everything else I have made either in 2022 at some point, or I've made parts of it in 2022. This is the only one that has been any different. The only thing I did was I added just a tiny couple of little things. So I guess you'd say this is using Lawn Fawn, because the little gingerbread man in there is Lawn Fawn, and the little snow globe is Lawn Fawn. But I don't really see it as Lawn Fawn. I don't know why. It is a little shaker. It's not one of the best ones I've ever done, but it's using the Sizzix domes. The only thing I added with these little gemstones, I always looked at this card, and I think it's why it sat in the stash last year and didn't go out, was because I looked at it and it just didn't look finished. There was something missing. And I think that was those gemstones, because as soon as I put them down, it was like, oh yeah, no, that's done. That can go out now. So yeah, sometimes just adding a couple of tiny little embellishments can really finish a card off. This pile's probably going to take the longest here because this is all completely different stuff. You will see Concord and Ninth probably took my heart this year a little bit. I absolutely adore their turnabouts. They are just so, so good. I didn't actually buy a new Christmas turnabout this year. I used all the old ones. And I have sat here on so many nights and just played with different colour combinations of the different turnabouts. I could just make them forever. So this one was using green, gold, green, red, and then gold embossing powder. This is actually even a background that I messed up on. If you have a really good look at it, you can tell what I've done. And so all I've done is put a little bit of metallic. This is actually a foiled piece of paper, so I actually used my foiling machine because I wanted a more matte gold, or more champagne gold than I had, so it matched the powder I used. And then that's just a sentiment from a Gina K set on a bit of vellum, and that's it. Like it was I'd say that easy. It was pulling it out of a background. These are Uniquely Creative slimline border dies, so easy. Just love that. And this, I love cards that have a bit of weight. This one has a bit of weight because I used a couple of different ways to bring that up. I kind of have gone away from foam tape a little bit this year. I've tried not to use it as much. Jennifer Maguire effect. I've been using scrap cardstock instead, and I love the weight that it gives a card. It's also something that as I've gone through this, I can tell which ones I've made at what point of the year, because some of them are on really beautiful card bases, like either the Uniquely Creative ones, which all the UC ones are, but then a lot of the other ones are on that beautiful paper stock cardstock that I've been using at the back end of the year. And then some of them are on the stuff that I used to use from Quill, from Officeworks, and it's just like, oh, you're still good, but you're just not quite as good as the cardstock I'm using now. This is the Pretty Pink Posh Layered Presents stencil set, and then I want to say it's Heffy Doodle, but I don't think it is. I have a feeling it might be, I don't remember. Might be Mama Elephant. It's the Mama Elephant. It definitely is. It's the Mama Elephant Fa La La. This is just the stencil. I just masked off, so I did green, red, and then I've got some yellow, gold texture paste on top. I'm trying to remember what. Oh, it's the Gina K stuff. Sorry, I was trying to remember what gold is this, because it's not the Lawn Fawn gold. This is the Gina K stencil paste, and then just got some more glitter on the back there. I loved the way that came together. It took a long time to get it to do what I wanted it to do. I probably did 2 of those to get it right, and I finally got there. This is another one that you have already seen in that backgrounds box. Kaiser Craft stencil, direct paper, Tim Holtz, beautiful big sentiment in the middle. Bingo. Not difficult whatsoever, but so classy. I just love that one. That's a really beautiful one. Same thing with this one. It's a very simple card. If you look at it, you just go, oh, well, that's not much. This is a turnabout that only had two runs around instead of 4, and I just used gold embossing powder on all of it. It's then got the Merry and Bright, which is out of the same Joy to the World stamp set from Tim Holtz. And then it's actually got a uniquely creative embossing folder on the bottom. And I think that to me is what makes it really special. You sort of look at it and you go, oh, yeah, right, that's not much. But when you pick it up and you catch it in the light, the way that the embossing folder picks the light, it's just really pretty. I love that one a lot. And this was the last of the ones using that big die set, big sentiment set. Again, with the iconic Christmas. You can tell I did it a lot. And then just the square. It's nothing fancy here either. Very simple. And I liked the grungy look of it. It just sort of came out looking not quite perfect, which I really enjoyed. So I had that one as well. This is the last of the ones you saw in that backgrounds box, just using pattern paper. And then the Concord and Ninth, all the Marys. Easy card, just using scraps, even better. This is one that I made we're doing a swap, or we did a swap, on the PA Fans. Was it PA Fans? It's a Planners Anonymous fans group, I'm sure of it. We're doing a swap. My swap friend is Ellie in Finland, which is really, really cool. So the idea was we just had to use PA goodies to make this one. This was using I think it was called Home for Christmas or Home for the Holidays. Digital kit. Love that you can use digital kits for Christmas. It's so much fun. Printed it out on some pretty paper. Got the gorgeous, I'm so in love with plaid right now. Plaid, green, red, glitter paste, done. Like so easy. Absolutely adore that card. Slightly bigger than a standard card. I didn't mean to do it that way. It just kind of worked out that way. But still, just beautiful. Love it. Alright, only 3 to go. These 2 are a bit more simple, just using pattern paper. This was using the Studio Light Gnome one, which actually I found a complete and utter recopy of at Spotlight, which surprised the heck out of me. I bought this last year at Picture to Page, and I loved it, and I didn't want to use the pad because I was so scared of not having the paper. Complete paper cutter's guilt. But happened to find the exact same one. It was just rebranded at Spotlight, so now I have 2. I don't have any guilt. So this one is just a really beautiful little mini slimline card with just the paper. I let the paper really shine here, and then just the gnomes on the front. Easy squeezy. Same thing with this one. These are using the Luscious Labels. Beautiful die cuts. I have had them in my stash, and I was just trying to make an easy kind of card, which is exactly what this is. Luscious Labels die cuts, Luscious Labels sentiment on a banner with some beautiful pattern paper in the background. Bingo. Beautiful little slimline. Alright, this is the only one using Lawn Fawn, and this is the only one, this is probably my favourite card ever, and that's a big statement, but it is. I had this idea as soon as I saw, and I'm not taking credit for the idea because the idea is not mine, bubble beads, that's what they're called. I knew it would come to me. The idea was using the Stitch Pond, like when this whole set came out, the Floating By, was using the Stitch Pond as a pool, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's an Aussie Christmas, spending the day by the pool. That's Aussie. So I got the Stitch Pond deliberately so I could make this card. And I probably will make it in lots of other ways now as well, like just floating by to say hello, just floating by to say Merry Christmas, but not Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. But I just love the idea of turning these guys into little Christmas fellas. So just add a hat. That's all you have to do. This guy's lost his hat. It's over there. The presents are strewn everywhere. The ball's in the air. I did think about trying to find a way to make the ball move, but I couldn't quite work that out. I also had lots of other ideas about like platform pop-ups and things that didn't quite get there. But I love this card. I love every part of it. To go walk through every part of this, you've got the floating by. Is it floating by? I want to say floating. Pool party. See the pool party or floating by. Pool party stamp set. I've got the foiled. That's red foil there using the winter big scripty words. You got the stitched pond and the stitched pond frames. In the background there, that's actually a foiled piece where I used the stitched wavy backdrop. If you remember back when I first got that foiling machine and I was actually playing with it, that's that piece in the background. I've got presents from so many different Christmas sets. The drinks from the pool party, I think. And then I've even got the brick stencil in the background. And then the deck of the pool, is using the simple strips, I think that's what it's called. It's in wood grain cardstock, and I just built it to be as big as I needed it to. So like that's probably 1.5 of the actual squares, but I just made a completely custom side card because I could and I wanted to, and it worked. So I could have squished it down and made it into a regular size card, but I didn't want to, so I didn't. And there we have it. That is all of the cards. I do want to show one other quick thing, which is just my envelopes. So I got these at Picture to Page. These are from Paper Stop on beautiful red cardstock, red paper, sorry. Beautiful, thick envelopes. You know, sometimes you get envelopes and you're like, oh, that really feels cheap. These do not feel like that. And then I've got a woodware stamp here on the background. It's been stamped twice, which you'd never know unless you had a really good look at it. I just offset it, and I just really love the postage stamp kind of thing to it. I just think it looks really cool. It took a really long time. I think if I was going to do it again, I'd pick a slightly longer stamp because doing it twice took a really long time. And I just used a combination of either barn door archival distress ink, or some of these were using Lawn Fawn Lobster ink, but both of them were basically the same. Alright, that is all of my Christmas cards for 2022. My big thing, or big tips for Christmas cards, number one, be on a design team that needs you to make Christmas cards, because that does help a lot. But the second one is make them all year long. Don't just wait until November to start pulling your Christmas stash out. Even if you're just making backgrounds, or even if you're just making, if you get a beautiful die set that's got a Christmas theme in it for Christmas. These ones I got way after Christmas, but I just enjoyed playing with them. So I just kept doing it all the time, all throughout the year, and that's how I ended up getting all of those guys, and they just lived in a box until I was ready. The second or third tip, the second tip is don't wait until the end of the year to start making them. Try and make bits of cards all year long, and that way when it does come to Christmas, it doesn't feel like such a huge, big, insurmountable task. The third tip, which is probably the best one and probably one I'm probably going to use most often, is try and make some in bulk. Don't try and make a single card for everybody that is different. Every single one of these cards is different. There's not one card here that's been duplicated, but I used similar things. So these 4 cards are exactly the same, but they're using different color combinations. So no one's getting one that's the same one as someone else, which is what I don't like to do. But 4 people are going to get something that is similar. It's just not the same. And I do love that these sort of creating quads, which now I want like 5 different stencils from them. The creating quads ones, I love that they give you 4 different cards. So it's just more ways to do things. And the same reason I love the turnabouts. That turnabout little bit probably gave me enough left over to make this one as well. That's not in that case, but it's a really good way to use the offcuts of what's left over for another card. That kind of making in bulk thing also goes for these card kits. You look at them sometimes, and they were marketed as like for any level. What made them fun and what made it something that I was happy to do was I knew I could take a basic card. Like, which one was the basic one? There was one here that was just the easy squeezy one that they said, this one was supposed to be easy. And it was so easy. But you could add things to it to make it more if you wanted to. It doesn't look easy. It doesn't look like a simple stick piece of paper, stick a sentiment and you're done. It's got some gravity, that's probably the word I want, gravity to it because you still have put the time in to do it. And anyone that enjoys getting Christmas cards or understands the effort that you go to make your card, that's for me why I do it. I put the effort in because I know most of the people that get my cards actually appreciate it. They know how much time I've spent doing it, and I get the fuzzies from knowing that they've enjoyed what I've got. So that's why I make Christmas cards. I get that question a bit, why do you still do it? Because I get the fuzzies. It's actually got nothing to do with the people getting them, it's me. I enjoy the process of making them, I enjoy the process of sending them, and I enjoy the fun of them being surprised by whatever they get. And I hope everybody that got a Christmas card from me this year, they would have got them by now, has loved them or have liked them as much as I've enjoyed making them. So that's it for my Christmas retro. It probably isn't all the cards. I'll probably need to make a couple of other quick ones along the way. But then if I do, I'll put pictures of them on Instagram. You'll get extras. But I don't think so. I think this is the bulk of them anyway. There's a particular card here that you like the most. I'd love to hear which ones you really liked and what sort of style you liked. If you think I should go back to using more Lawn Fawn, let me know. If you'd like to see more floral cards, more uniquely creative cards, more Hero Arts cards, whatever, let me know. I'm quite happy to do so, and I have some fun Christmas stuff still coming in that I can use next year. One more tip, and then I swear I'll stop. The other tip is grab Christmas stuff after Christmas. So they always put a lot of Christmas stuff on sale, like just after Christmas in your Boxing Day sales and even sort of January sales. Grab some then, because you'd be surprised how much you're still in the Christmas spirit in January and you still want to make Christmas cards, and you can keep making then. So you've got the fun of getting something new, on sale, and you're still in the Christmas spirit, so you're still happy to keep making Christmas cards. Put them in the stash and then put them together in December like I did. That's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe. Any card that has a video, I have linked down below, so you can go and check them out if you want more information on any of them. And I will list most of the big products that I used. I'll put them down below as well. I hope you guys have had an absolutely awesome Christmas, and I hope you have an absolutely awesome New Year. And I will catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!